It is great to really welcome back our guest. She was with us about a year and a half ago, and when her last CD came out, she's got a brand new one out in tribute to Frank Sinatra, who's celebrating his 100th year this year. It is called Remembering Mr. Sinatra. Always great to welcome back. Really talented woman, nice lady as well. Julie Budd on the telephone from up in New York today. And Julie, great to talk to you again. How you been?
It's so good to chat with you. It's been, you and I couldn't even figure out what last we spoke. It felt like it was yesterday.
I know. Well, we never met in person, but we've talked on the phone several times, and I consider you a friend already, even though we've never really seen each other. But you're a great friend of mine, and the station as well.
Pen pals. We're like pen pals.
Well, first of all, we want to talk a lot about the CD, and of course you're honoring Mr. Frank Sinatra himself. But you mentioned right before we went on, and I did see Richard, your PR man, send out an email. You were inducted into the Hall of Fame in Brooklyn. Talk about that for a minute.
The Brooklyn Jewish Hall of Fame. It's so funny. I went back to Brooklyn yesterday. It looks completely different. It looks like Soho or Tribeca. I mean, it's so cool. It just looks so different, and I went back, and we were at the Brooklyn Historical Society, which was gorgeous, and just looking at the neighborhood, it's so different, and all these shishi posh restaurants. We had dinner there last night. It was really nice, but it was so lovely because I was honored along with Alan Dershowitz and Chuck Schumer and Elizabeth Holtzman, and Fides Finkel, who was a 90-some-odd years old, and he was a big star in the Jewish theater.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And so many other folks, but it was great. It was just great.
The tree of life, I just picked me a plum. You came along, everything started up. Still, it's a real good bet, the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come, and babe, won't it be fine? You think you've seen the sun, but baby, you ain't seen it shine. Wait till the warm-up's underway. Wait till our lips have met. And wait till you see that sunshine day. You ain't seen nothing yet. The best is yet to come, and baby, won't it be fine? The best is yet to come, come the day you're mine, come the day you're mine. I'm gonna teach you to fly. I'm gonna taste all the wine, weather a dream that cup dry. Wait till your charms are right for these arms to surround. You've flown before, but baby, you ain't left the ground. Wait till you're locked in my embrace. Wait till I draw you near. Wait till you see that sunshine place. Ain't nothing like it here. The best is yet to come, and babe, won't it be fine? The best is yet to come the day you're mine. Come the day you're mine. Ooh, the day you're mine.
People have really been connecting to the new CD. My God, it's been so successful.
Called Remembering Mr. Sinatra, and he would have been 100 coming up in December. Now, you worked with him. I think last time we talked, he told some great stories about working in Las Vegas with so many great stars, but you knew him, didn't you, as a child?
Yeah, I did. When I was 16, actually just short of my 16th birthday, Mr. Sinatra chose me to be his special guest artist, his guest on his show at Caesar's Palace.
Wow.
And I mean, you know, I was still living in Brooklyn at the time. I was just a kid going to school and just getting started in show business and starting to make a little bit of a name for myself. I was doing a lot of TV. And he had sort of plucked me out of the group of singers, you know, and invited me to be his special guest artist. I have to tell you, you know, he was really wonderful to me. When I got the engagement, I remember, you know, I knew all the comics and everybody in the business because I was really starting to get very, very busy at that time, quite frankly. And so I started to know everybody, and they were all warning me, oh, Julie, be careful. Oh, Julie, he's this way. Oh, Julie, he's that way, you know. Don't talk to him. Don't look at him. Don't breathe in his direction, you know, that kind of thing. You know how people are. And I got to tell you, when I met him, it was a complete opposite. He was just totally different. He was wonderful to me. I mean, yes, you know, Mr. Sinatra was a very complicated man, and he had a very, very turbulent life, you know. But I have to say, I can only go by, you know, my personal experience with him, and my personal experience with him was a very generous and giving experience. He was wonderful to me.
I think he appreciated other singers, maybe more than other people in show business. I think singers he appreciated and understood, and I guess he got along with them probably as well as any other person, right? Do you think that's part of it?
Well, you know, you're hitting on a very important point because, and I said this to somebody last night when I was in Brooklyn, and they were asking me, you know, because they were talking about my CD and all that stuff, and they asked me about Mr. Sinatra, and I said, you know, the funny thing about Mr. Sinatra is you never really heard from him unless something was wrong. Basically, he gave you pretty free rein to do what you had to do, and he felt by doing that he was going to find out who you were. By letting you go off and do what you wanted to do, he was going to learn a lot about your artistic taste and your choices and, you know, how you handled yourself, the kind of work that you were, you know, bringing to the table. And he was wise, because that's really how you get to know somebody, by their choices and how hard they work and what they do. And, you know, you never really heard from him unless something was wrong. And I was grateful because I guess nothing was wrong.
I'm gonna love you like nobody's loved you, come rain or come shine. High as a mountain and deep as a river, come rain or come shine. Guess when you met me, it was just one of those things. But don't ever bet me, 'cause I'm gonna be true if you let me. You're gonna love me like nobody's loved me, come the rain or
I've read several books about him and talking to different people. He was a perfectionist, so perfectionists tend to be a little difficult at times. And if, like you said, if you did something that he didn't like, he'd let you know about it. But if you weren't,
he should,
right,
you know?
right.
You know, his name was on that marquee, and he won't be right. And, you know, you can't hate somebody for wanting it to be right. As a matter of fact, I happen to applaud those people. Before Mr. Sinatra, nobody ever gave people behind the scenes the kind of acknowledgement and credit that he gave people.
Yeah.
Orchestrators, musicians, solo artists, writers, composers. You know, he would always give the people behind the scenes, the creative beings, the tech people. He would always give them credit in his show, and I always admired that about him.
He always would give credit, and you hear in a lot of the live albums, of the composer of the song he was about to sing. He always mentioned that. Or Nelson Riddle, too. Yeah, right.
Exactly. He'd say this is a great Don Costa arrangement. Or
right.
Whatever. He was great that way. And he was the perpetual student. He was always learning. And he didn't care where he got the information. He just always wanted to be better. And I really, really liked that about him. I liked him a lot. I liked him as a person. I mean, like I said, look, I could sense that Mr. Sinatra could be complicated. Yeah. I knew that. But at the core of it all was a good guy.
Were you able to ever just kind of sit backstage and talk with him kind of alone for 10, 15 minutes just to get an idea? I know the age difference there, years of trial, probably didn't have a lot of time to do that, but were you able to talk to him?
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
I had lots of time. And he made time to do that. He wanted to. He wanted to know who I was. And he was very accessible. And you know, he was interested in what I was thinking and saying. You know, he did not make the age the barrier. You know, He knew that I was paying attention. He knew I was interested. He knew I was plugged into what I was doing. He was interested in that. No, we had a lot of time to chat. He was great.
Saturday dance, heard they crowded the floor, couldn't bear without you, don't get around much anymore. Thought I'd visit the club, got as far as the door, they'd have asked me about you, don't get around much anymore. Darling, I guess my mind's more at ease, but nevertheless, why stir up memories of in-bygone days? Might have gone, but before. Different without you. Don't get around much anymore.
In Vegas, I mean that's the pinnacle really of live show business. Did you have to kind of tell him what songs you wanted? Did he tell you, or how did you put that whole thing together?
You know, in true Sinatra fashion, as I said before, he gave you a lot of space to do what you wanted to do. He never, and I was, you know, it's funny, I was thinking about this the other day. He never approved my song list.
Really?
he stood by and he listened. He listened. He knew that you couldn't tell on paper what it was. He knew that you had to hear the charts, and you had to see how it was being presented in the context, that you were going to be doing it. He knew that.
Yeah.
And he liked my choices. He liked what Herb and I were doing. So he was very pleased with me. And he didn't give me a hard time at all. As a matter of fact, he actually increased my stage time.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, most of the time, when you work with, people like that, you're lucky to get 20, 25 minutes.
Right. Opening act is about 20 minutes, right? Yeah.
He gave me nearly 40.
Wow.
Yeah, he was very generous. Extremely generous. And he trusted my choices, and he appreciated them, and he let me know that. We had a wonderful time. We had a really wonderful time together, and it was a real nice give and take. He had an enormous respect for what I was doing, and it had nothing to do with the fact that I was a kid. He knew what I was trying to do, and he helped me get there. He was a good guy. He was just a good guy.
This song is dedicated to my mom and dad, especially your mom. I like New York in June. How about you? I love a Gershwin tune. How about you? I love a fireside when a storm is due. I like potato chips, moonlight, motor trips. How about you? I love to read good books, can't get my fill, and Frank Sinatra's voice always gave me a thrill, holding hands in a movie show when all the lights are low. May not be new, but I like it. How about holding hands in a movie show when all the lights are low? May not be new, oh, but I like it. How about you?
Talking with Julie Budd, the name of the CD is Remembering Mr. Sinatra, and just going through some of the songs in the CD. You picked some great ones, Julie. The Best Is Yet to Come, Come Rain or Come Shine, Don't Get Around Much Anymore. I mean, I know he had so many recordings, it must have been a challenge to pick the 8 or 10 songs that you wanted to do.
Well, it's interesting that you asked me that. It's a smart question and it's a smart observation because really what I was doing with this CD, I did not want to emulate his execution of this material. I mean, for heaven's sakes, if you want to hear that, you could listen to his CD. Mm-hmm. And you'll be hearing what you want to hear. What this really was a Valentine and a tribute to a very unique time in show business, and I happened to be there, and I was part of it. And it's my contribution. You see, Mr. Sinatra never really asked that much of me, but the one thing he did ask of me was that I continue to do this material. He said, because Julie, there's going to come a time that it's going to go away, and if you don't do it, no one's going to know what was done.
Right.
And it's like passing something down in a family, you know. And he said to me, he said, Julie, you know, this is really what you do well, and it would be crazy for you to abandon it. And I promised him I would continue to do the work, and I've been walking around for several years with this idea, you know, to do the CD, and I didn't know how I wanted to approach it. I never intended it, quite frankly, to fall out on the Centennial. It just happened to happen that way, you know. And how I wanted to approach it, I never intended it, quite frankly, to fall out a tribute to the things that we did in concert when we worked together. So I didn't just sort of randomly pick, oh, I'm going to do this Sinatra song or that, you know. I didn't do my way, you know, because that was sort of his.
Right.
But I wanted to pick things that I felt would be songs that artists such as myself would continue to do. And also, they were a memory of those nights on stage when we performed these songs. So I wanted it to be a retrospect of that. But I certainly didn't want to copy his arrangements. I didn't want it to be a karaoke CD.
Right.
You know, there's so many people out there doing, you know what I mean? There are so many people out there doing tributes.
They're pretty bad, too. Yeah, bad ones. Yeah.
And, well, what I don't like about them, I mean, I'm sure there are folks out there that love it, and I hope they all do well, but what I personally don't like about them is that they're trying to emulate Mr. Sinatra. You don't emulate anyone. You know, you tip your hat to the work and you find your own voice in it, and then it becomes authentic. So that's kind of what we did, and I hope everybody will love it.
Well, thank you, speaking for myself and all of our listeners here, for keeping it alive. I mean, it is important to keep this music out there, let people under a certain age know it's around.
Well, I hope that they'll love it, and they can get it on Amazon, and CD Baby, and Barnes & Noble, and iTunes. It's all over the place, and I want to thank you so much for having me back on the show. You're always so great tonight.
Well, it's great to chat. I did want to say that those are great pictures you have on the CD, particularly the one with the Sinatra hat. I always liked where you wore the hat, and you got a great hat on the cover of this.
I hope you'll love it. I do. I really do.
Julie Bell, always great to chat with you, and we won't wait a year and a half before we do the next one. Hopefully we'll do it sooner than that, but again, congratulations on the CD. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Doug. You take care.
More than you know, more than you know, man of my heart, I love you so. Lately I find you're on my mind. More than you know. Whether you're right, whether you're wrong, man of my heart, I'm string along. I need you so, more than you'll ever. Loving you the way I do, there's nothing I can do about it. Loving may be all you can give, but honey, I can't live without it. How I'd sigh if you got tired and said goodbye. More than I'd show thought of you, and I forget to do the little ordinary things that everyone ought to do. I'm living a kind of daydream. I'm happy as a king and foolish, though it may seem to me it's everything. The mere idea of you, the longing here for you, you'll never know how slow the moments go till I'm near to you. I see your face in every flower, your eyes in stars above. It's just the thought of you, the very thought of you, my love. It's not the pale moon that excites me, that thrills and delights me, oh no. It's just the nearness of you. Is it your sweet conversation that brings this sensation? Oh no, it's just the nearness of you. When I'm in your arms and I feel you so close to me, all my wildest dreams come true. I need no soft lights to enchant me. If you'd only grant me the right to hold you ever so tight and to feel in the night the nearness of you. Get tired.